Tyler, don't do the thing where you take water and you have to go.
I won't.
Because I know you.
I'm a little on the Tyra side too.
Oh God.
That's nice. Well, I'm gonna keep that in.
Why?
Because it's funny, Tori. It's hilarious. You know what's hilarious? The fact that we haven't been to the movies since February. Hey!
Shocker.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
My name's Tyler. This is Tori. And this is the 4th episode of Spoiled Popcorn. We are, admittedly, a little rusty at this.
Terrible.
We took some notes because we just got back from seeing The New Mutants, a movie that was delayed with or without COVID.
I totally forgot it was a thing.
Yeah. Well, I was excited for it. The fact that it was kind of marketed as a horror movie, just like, oh, cool, fresh take. Like, you don't see a lot of scary horror movies, even when you had...
Scary horror movies?
That's not what I meant. I meant...
Marvel.
Scary superhero movies.
Yeah, I got it.
Like there's Brightburn, but I haven't seen Brightburn. I might, but I'm not like interested.
Eager.
Yeah.
Eager Beaver.
Yeah. But then like, for example, you had Sam Raimi, a good horror. Stop looking at our cat.
He just stole my rug and just he's so cute.
You had Sam Raimi, who directed one of your favorites, Evil Dead and stuff like that, and he made Spider-Man, but I guess those could be a little bit, some scary moments, like God, you could die.
Yeah,
but it's not horror. So
no.
So this was.
But this wasn't even horror either. It was supposed to be horror. But...
I think if you went into the movie not knowing it was horror, you wouldn't view it as scary. But because I viewed it as a horror movie, I'm trying to make it feel scarier.
Yeah.
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 You think that's right?
Maybe.
I mean, you could have different opinions. Did you...
I got a, suspenseful thriller type movie. I didn't get a horror. Like, there was horror behind it, but there was just not enough time.
What did you expect before going to see this movie? Like, what were you expecting to get from this movie?
Well, I've only seen one preview, and I forget everything that was in it except for one scene.
I remember the song.
There's a song?
It was just like, you don't need no education.
Oh.
It was, or is it We Don't Need No?
Yes, I remember.
It was
I remember that.
Pink Floyd, but it was like a horror spin. Yeah, and I was like,
they made it
I'm
so
hooked.
much creepier in that one small preview that when I watched the movie, like going into it, I didn't have any expectation. I had no clue on what it was about. Like, I knew it had mutants in it. Like, that's about it.
Well, you could easily control the tone of a movie with its trailer. Like Meg, for example. Big ass scary shark, but then the trailer just makes it seem so lighthearted and just, Jason Statham versus a big shark. But we didn't see the Meg today, did we? No. We saw The New Mutants, which... So we have Wikipedia pulled up in front of us. We actually tried to write some notes on this movie. We're trying to be a little more organized and professional with how we proceed with this podcast. But Tori, I have 4 bullet points, and before I got to the 5th one, she's like, you know what? Let's just start the podcast. And I'm like, okay, we'll dive in.
Wing it.
Because essentially all I'm doing is looking on Wikipedia and just kind of writing some things I find interesting, or I could just have it in front of me and then just, oh yeah, I remember that.
Well, let's do it the way that we would have if we went in not knowing anything about the movie.
Okay. I was expecting to have a good time. Should we talk about going back to the movies?
Sure, we can start off with that.
How it is. All right. So... long story short, things have changed with how you go to literally any place, movies included. I feel like they've actually kind of improved the movie theater experience just a little bit.
You don't like people.
Well, here's what's changed. Like, not a lot.
No.
So, to start off, you get your tickets online. I did that already. And then you just put your phone up to a little printer. It gives you your ticket stubs. Yay. It's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go sit here. You basically can just do this without having to talk to anyone. There was a person outside of the theater says, hey, have you been back since, shit hit the fan? We're just like, yeah, we're good. Or like, no, this is our first time. And then they explain to you how to proceed in the movie theater.
Like, you have to wear a mask
the
whole time, even though...
I took mine off like 20 minutes into the film.
Yeah, I had
fun fact. Yeah, we watched this the middle, like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, and I counted approximately, because it was dark, but I counted 108 seats. Out of those 108 seats, we were the only 2 people in the theater.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was pretty cool.
We almost paid.
Yeah, we
to
just
be there,
kind of rented out the theater.
Yeah.
And this just goes to show you how polite we are as movie attendees. We're like whispering still, and it's like, oh shit, we're here. This is it. We can just like be loud and just throw things. I don't know. I don't know why.
We could, but we're not like that.
Yeah, I don't know why we would throw things. I should have thrown those Skittles away.
Why?
I'm not gonna lie, they like coated my throat and it hurts.
Aw.
Like I feel like I got like my Adam's apple sore.
That's because it's sour.
It's probably Ralton. It's a Ralton Adam's apple.
They do that, especially when you're drinking a slushie.
Yeah. Oh, slush. Yeah, we had a slushie and Skittles. And you can order those off your phone. You can add food and drinks to your tickets. And
then they just know to bring it to you?
I'm pretty sure.
I think you actually know. You pick it up.
You pick it up. It's kind of like you're just ordering food from a restaurant. And yeah, in another big thing is that theater's got a lot of restaurants. They limited. Did I say restaurants?
Yes, you did.
Restrooms. They have a lot of restrooms, but only 2 are available. There's just one women's restroom and one men's restroom.
Not even that. But out of those 2 restrooms, I almost did it. I almost said restaurants too. Out of the restrooms that I went into, there's maybe how many? 6 stalls.
Oh,
and
see,
out of those 6 stalls,
men only has 2.
That's what I was gonna say. Like they closed off everything but 2.
Really?
Yeah, they had like 6 of them, but they closed off. There's 2 sides.
I wonder how it's gonna be when we get a new movie and like people are rushing to the theater. Like, do you know how backed up that's gonna be, especially for women?
Oh, especially like James Bond. I think that'll be pretty.
Back in March, I was hopeful that things would die down by July. Here we are, almost on October, and James Bond November. Mid-November?
I think
I have a feeling... So, I am going to briefly mention this with whatever scrutiny I may get. People say that the popular opinion is, hey, you ready for the election? COVID's going to go away. And that's what, November? So, who knows? Maybe
we'll see.
I'm just betting this goes well into 2021. But honestly, like I said, is at least going to the movies. Not bad.
It's not a big deal. If you want to go to the movies, go to the movies.
The last big change is every other couple seat.
Yeah,
is
and
available.
That's better because then you can enjoy your food.
Yeah.
And you can still like watch the movie.
You know one of like the worst feelings? It's like you're sitting in a movie, it just starts, and then someone walks in and sits right next to you. You got to move your jacket, your key, because I take everything out of my pocket. I throw it on the seat next to me. And now with COVID, even if you go by yourself, because they block them off into 2, the couple seats pretty much. So if you go by yourself, because I actually did this.
Oh.
I bought 1 ticket because me and Austin, this is actually not my first movie back at the theaters. Just like a few days ago, I went to see Jaws.
Oh, I know that.
And what was that? 1975. It's good to see the classics on the big screen.
It is. It makes you feel like you're back.
Yeah. So what I did is I bought him and I a ticket, and it was really cool because for that specific day, the tickets were only $1. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll go see Jaws for $1. And okay, yeah, I had to Google it. 1975. I didn't want to be wrong. And then he wasn't sure if he wanted to go, so I was like, yo, I can cancel it. And then it became a joke. He's like, you're bluffing. I'm like, no, I'll call the theater right now. So long story short, I canceled it, and then I bought my own ticket. So then I went to repurchase his ticket, and it wouldn't actually let me purchase the seat next to me. You have to purchase them together.
Oh.
So like
you have to know the person.
Not even. I bought it with my phone and my account and my same everything.
What I'm saying is, so if you were to buy that one seat,
it prevents people from buying seats next to you.
But that's what I'm saying is you have to buy them together.
Yes.
People together know each other.
Yes.
So that they don't want spread.
So perhaps one of the biggest changes with going to the movie theaters. So like if Endgame came out, we saw that movie with 10 plus people. You're not gonna really do that now. You can go with people, but you're not sitting next to each other.
No.
Pick your favorite of the group, sit with them, and then scatter yourselves amongst the theater. But good luck, because I have a feeling shit like that could sell out. Once again, we no one knows how long this is going to go on besides the government.
But just,
I'm kidding.
Do your best. Like, just go and do things, even if it means you got to wear a mask, you got to follow a little bit of... Because you can't live inside forever.
Yeah. Boy, I don't want to make this podcast too long, but...
No, we got to get into this
There is so much we could talk about. Like, all the movies we saw that should have been in theaters... We'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, that was
We're going to try to watch a certain movie that I will discuss with you off microphone because who knows what could happen.
Okay. Well,
but yeah.
Let's get into this movie.
Tenet didn't bring us back to the movie theater. Jaws and New Mutants. Tenet is a...
Well, I know what it's about somewhat, but like...
It's a Christopher Nolan film. I can just say that. It's like the equivalent of saying, hey, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. You know?
Okay, makes sense.
So... I was excited to see this movie. Like, excited enough to get out of my house and go to the movie theater to see this movie with you.
And I was content with it.
Especially because I was like, all right, the last movie me and you saw in theaters was Dolittle.
Which kind of sucks.
I knew this movie was going to be better than Dolittle. And it was. So, money well spent.
Yeah.
I was super happy about this. And, yeah, this was... So, I mentioned that it's been delayed several times. And I think once more with COVID. Maybe twice. I don't know. I think it's been delayed a total of 4 times.
You know, I think that's why I wasn't so excited to see it. Like, I was excited to go back to the movies. And so I was like, you know, if I'm going back, I want it to make it a good movie.
Twisting my pencil.
It's fine. You're fidgety.
Yeah.
You can always use your little fidgety ball.
My fidget cube?
Yeah.
Well, it's a ball. My Rubik's fidget. It's a puzzle. It's not important.
Anyway.
Yeah, go on.
So, shit, what was I saying?
You were kind of hesitant of whether or not you're going to like the movie.
Yeah, because I didn't really know what it was about. Like, I knew it had to do with XMen, obviously, and then I knew it had some type of scary element to it. But then I'm like, am I going to like the movie?
It's like, is that enough for me to like it?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, just kind of a different take on X-Men. But it's still within the X-Men universe.
I'm going to be real, though. Like, I'm not a huge fan of X-Men.
I am also going to be real with you. Me neither.
I thought you were going to say either.
No, me either is dumb.
Well, thanks for calling me dumb.
I'm just saying, that's why neither and either, or neither and either, however you want to say it, that's why they exist. I feel that when 2 words, it ends in a vowel, you use neither.
I guess.
So you don't say things like me either. Me either.
Anyway,
you say me neither. That's my rule. I'll cringe when other people say it incorrectly. I also don't know if that's an official rule, but once again, not important. But you brought it up.
I'm just saying.
You brought it up.
So basically, I wasn't trying to look at it as an X-Men movie because I'm not trying to think like, oh, well, I don't like this movie franchise, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe it will give me a clean slate to like this movie.
Yeah, and one thing that was interesting, so with all the delays and stuff, this was the 13th X-Men movie, and
it's a lot of movies.
Since this movie got started back, I read in like 2015, at least the idea for it. I doubt production. So this has been a long time coming.
5 years.
Yeah, this was originally going to come out in 2018. I remember that. It never got marketed because it was like, yo, early talks, and then shit went sideways.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into why. People probably know about New Mutants and its many delays and whatever, but in the midst of this movie being made, that's when Disney bought Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Fox owned X-Men, at least the movie rights to it. And so I read...
that when Spider-Man and all that was going on?
Yeah, that was a different thing with Sony. But
Okay.
a lot of things
yeah.
within the last year or so happened with Disney and all these other studios. But yeah, I read that this was going to be a trilogy. But now the rights got reverted back to Marvel Studios. So it's like, nah, that's it. X-Men is done until we get our hands on it and we do stuff with that. And I'm
That's
like,
upsetting.
I'm cool with that. But I have the unpopular opinion, once again. I was more entertained by this movie than any X-Men movie I've seen to date.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, so they're not going to make a trilogy.
And you know what? You had an interesting point. You asked me, I think even before the movie started when we were in the theater, you said, how long was this?
Yeah.
So I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, an hour and a half. And you're like, that's not even a movie.
No, it's not.
And I was like, that's
like an episode. An extended episode of a show.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I really caught you off guard with that one. Bringing out a show I've watched a little bit with you. But I'm tired of like all these movies being 2 hours, 2.5 hours long. It's like this movie knows. I'm gonna assume that a lot of scenes got cut in its
probably
years of production hell. But I was good with it. There weren't any like jarring like, oh, this doesn't make sense. It makes sense if they added this. I was good with it. I'm also kind of a simpleton when it comes to how I view movies. Biggest gripes I have with movies, I'm just like, oh, it's blurry, or the key is around her.
You're always extra.
The key's around her neck, but in this scene, it's on the table. Shit like that.
I have no reason to pay attention to those things.
Yeah, well, I'll notice them because I follow a subreddit called Movie Details, and it's like, hey, this is this, and I love that behind the scenes. There's Easter eggs people find, continuity errors. I love going on IMDb and just scrolling through all the goofs and things like that. But yeah, that's a little disappointing. I'm glad I found out all of this after watching it, because, like you said, kind of blank slate. But it's like, I would love to see a trilogy of this.
Well, that's the thing. I'm kind of upset because, all this information, we're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that, because it wasn't in the movie. And it was going to be in the movie because there was going to be a trilogy. I would have loved to have a second one.
Yeah, it was still, like, it was kind of weird during the movie. And trust me, we will get to the movie itself. But
eventually.
I think they mentioned X-Men twice.
They mentioned it twice.
2 or 3 times in some company called Essex.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something we're supposed to know. I'm sure with their...
Probably in the comics, because there was a comic.
Also, their potential sequels that they wanted, things like that are more explored. I was going to say delving into, but I'm like, I don't think that's a word.
I don't know.
But yeah, so there were just a lot of, like, it was one of those movies. There have been X-Men movies where I'd watch them with my friends in theaters years ago, and I'm just like, okay, I have several questions. Who's this? What does this mean? How does this person know this person? And it's like, they're so involved with the lore of X-Men. This just kind of felt like its own movie.
It did.
It just existed within the X-Men universe. And I'm like, it's kind of like Deadpool a little bit.
Yeah, I love Deadpool.
But even Deadpool, there's still more to be known. So I think with that being said, we can segue into the actual like characters and meat of this film, because
do we want to
go ahead.
do we want to start out by the start of the movie, or do we go into
I'm going to talk about the cast. Because now that I got Deadpool on the brain, Deadpool had Colossus, and this wasn't talked about, mentioned, hinted at all. But, maybe people who have a little bit of knowledge can kind of put 2 and 2 together. One of the characters is actually his sister.
Well, maybe we should go into the movie and then explain the characters.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So let's talk about the New Mutants. So the New Mutants... I like that here's something that I thought going into this movie. The New Mutants was just, oh, cool, new generation, different X-Men. It's like when we got the 4th? Is it the 4th or 5th movie? It's called First Class. It was just like, oh, cool, X-Men movie with New Mutants in it. But this is like an actual term. New Mutants, they explained it when you can go 13 years of your life not knowing you have powers, and then boom, it kind of hits with puberty. And so they've coined teenagers who are mutants, they coined them as New Mutants. And they kept them locked in this supposed hospital, which looked more like an insane asylum.
Yeah.
If anything. because all the talks they have in the circles, I've seen that in Cult of Chucky, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, things like that. But yeah, so they're just like, yeah, new mutants are more likely to be dangerous and hurt somebody because they don't know how to handle their powers. The doctor in this movie, played by, what was her... I don't know a lot of these people, but...
She looks familiar.
Her name is Alice Braga. She plays Dr. Reyes. She surprisingly was a superhero herself. She was able to create...
I didn't really know that until the end.
She was able to create force fields, and in the beginning it was... Yeah, there's no...
I guess it was implied, but, like, I didn't see it as...
I didn't know it was her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was like, hey, there's no fences around here. You can escape. And then the main character, what is...
Was it Danny?
Yeah, that's...
Is it Danielle Moonstruck or something?
Moonstar.
Moonstar.
Like, I thought that was a code name.
Me too.
But yeah, she's played by an actress I've never heard of.
Blue Hunt.
Blue Hunt. I've never heard of her.
Very young.
But yeah, they're just like, there's no fences here. You can run away. And then the mean girl, the bitch of the group, who is Colossus' sister, she's... I feel like I can say it. Ilana Rasputin.
Yeah. We should,
got like 3 Russian last names to go for, and that's.
But we just don't know that in the movie. That's the thing. We have no clue
Learned it through
who
Wikipedia.
these people are. And of course, it starts out with Danny Moonstar. They call her Danielle Moonstar, or whatever. Yeah. So
she runs. She tries to escape the hospital, and then boom, hits that force field.
But we're missing the beginning.
Okay, you want to go to the beginning?
Yeah,
okay,
because
cool.
we gotta segue into how she gets there.
Okay.
Because we got Danny, she's running away with her dad.
So shit's going down.
Yeah.
They said it was a tornado. You hear growling. It clearly, like, they're being chased by something. It's not a tornado.
There's fire.
A tornado is something you can easily just take shelter and look at and watch, but nah. Like, the dad's like, he takes her. She wakes up. She's like, what's happening? He's like, don't let go of my hand. He runs her over to a tree. She takes shelter in, like, a hole in the tree.
Yeah, but it's almost, like, perfectly squared out for her.
It's like they took it straight out of, like, a McDonald's playland.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, here's just a tree that a child can sit in.
That's the best way you could describe it.
I just love it. It's like, don't take my hand. Okay, so I'm going to leave you right here. I'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to go die.
Dies right in front of her.
Like.
Spoiler alert.
But the show is called Spoiled Popcorn.
I know. But we gotta make sure people know these things.
People know they're gonna get spoiled. But he's like blue. Or like purple.
He's like a weird grayish blue
been
color.
Hit with something. Like poisoned or...
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not... The movie doesn't have to explain itself that much. And I appreciate it. Because that is how you...
I don't know. I would say it does.
Sure. Let's view it as a movie that... Let's just say this was season 1. It was going to go for 3 seasons. Canceled after 1. Typically, they explore shit in the upcoming seasons. So let's just give this movie the benefit of the doubt.
See, you basically said what my notes were all about. Is this movie should have been a show.
Oh, I would have loved
100%.
that. I would have loved that.
This would have gotten even more popular than Stranger Things, I think.
Do you... Let's go off the rails a little bit. Now that we have now that we have Disney Plus and their Marvel shows, which anyways, do you think that now they have XMen, do you think they're going to make movies? Or do you think they're going to make shows?
They should make shows. Because
you think they make shows?
They should make shows. Doesn't mean that they are going to.
I wonder how many shows, because
3.
I wonder how many shows they could possibly have. They have, once again, off the rails, apologies, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, whatever.
For Marvel, yeah.
WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel.
Wait, She-Hulk was a show?
It's going to be.
I thought it was going to be a movie.
No.
Damn.
She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and Moon Knight. And What If, which is the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
So there are currently 8 shows in production.
But Marvel is so big, whereas X-Men is kind of in its own little thing.
X-Men, 100%, yeah. That's it. It was able to exist as its own thing.
There's not much to go off of for that. But I think that they would do great with like 1 or 2 shows.
I would have absolutely loved to see this as a show. Well, this is one thing I really loved about it. It was the plot and their characters and their end goals had purpose. It was like, all right, cool. This is their mission. Whether or not they come out and say it, Like Endgame and a lot of these other big movies, they're very good with hand holding. Just like, okay, cool, purple dude, we gotta kill him. It's like, all right, cool, that's our clear cut mission. We're all soldiers. Let's do what we're told. Whatever. But this was like, all right, they have to figure out her powers. They have to figure out how to control their powers because they're trying to get free from this, once again, quote unquote, hospital to go to this super hospital. I don't know what they say.
Danny got there by trying to escape this big.
She had like a vision kind of thing.
I don't know. She was running away. I'm talking from the beginning. Running away. Dad dead. For some reason, she flipped and fell. And,
you're talking about...
Bam, she was in a hospital.
Yeah.
It didn't even go into, like...
I'm sorry, yeah.
Flashbacks of anything.
After the supposed tornado monster, she passed out on the ground after falling and hitting her head. Woke up in the hospital, which is where the movie takes place. Great setting. By the way, I've always enjoyed asylums and hospitals.
They're weird.
If you didn't think it was a scary movie, it definitely takes place in a scary setting.
It does have a scary setting to
Fucking Halloween 2 takes place in a hospital. Hospitals they have, and it's also got a church in it too. You're kind of hitting, you're hitting all the check marks for horror scenes.
For horror scenes, yes.
There wasn't a scene outside where it was raining, except for blood in a cell. Just that description alone.
Let's get to that part.
You can tell this has got horror elements written all over it.
I mean, yeah. And then, of course, we meet the new characters. We meet all the other kids. How many? 5? 4?
4 excluding Danny. There's 5 total.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're all like in a circle. And then there's also the doctor, who, weird that she is the only adult in this whole building.
Yeah, you would think
there's no workers, there's no security guards. Nope. Technically, she doesn't need muscle. She literally can just shield herself. She doesn't do a very good job at it. But yeah, so they're in a circle, and then we're introduced to we got Maisie Williams,
which I've never seen.
I've
seen like 1 or 2 episodes of Game of Thrones.
I don't have to watch Game of Thrones to recognize her.
To know it was her. She's really
popular. What, Arya or something?
Yeah.
I think that's her name. Yeah, she plays a character which I did not expect it to be spelled like this. Rain Sinclair. It's funny that they keep giving them all, like, they don't really say their full names. They do when, so the doctor monitors all of them. She's like behind a security thing. She got all these monitors. Every room in the hospital is being monitored. And so they're constantly like, this person, their vitals are normal, this and that. So I guess that's where I noticed Moonstar, because I thought that was like her superhero name. It's like, no, that's her last name, which then you got Henry Zaga is his name. He plays Bobby.
Yeah.
He's a Brazilian mutant who can apparently manipulate solar energy.
We don't know that until like the very end.
Yeah, I just viewed it as a dude who just kind of catches himself on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of laughed at her name Moonstar.
I was like, huh? Oh, that's
like
real.
We got our old ragtag group of friends where some are dicks and some are nice. And they kind of split it down the middle. You got the girl, fucking Colossus sister, just a bitch. Just a bitch.
Well, you could tell there's something there. Like, obviously she's been hurt before.
Well, it's like fucking, what's his name? Henry Bowers in It Chapter 2, which I may reference more than once in this podcast. He's just a bully to be a bully. But then, spoiler alert, shocker, his dad's a dick. So he's got problems. In the books, he was kind of like a closeted homosexual. Very angry about that problem. So
yeah, so obviously he's reflecting it off of other people.
Yeah, people who are just mean to others, they're often rooted. And clearly, like, you're able to see into this, the Russian girl's Ilana? Yeah, Ilyana.
Ilyana, I think.
Ilyana, that's probably it. Yeah, you're able to see she's kind
of cuckoo.
She got a monster. She had like a demon
little puppet.
Well, she has a puppet, like a comfort kind of puppet, which found out it's a little dragon, and she made it real.
Yeah, so that's another
It's like a little Spyro.
It confuses me because it's almost like she made this world that she can go into, that she'll pop in and out of. Mm-hmm. And she has this, like, I want to say it's almost like a Thor arm.
It's called the Soul Sword.
Okay.
And she uses these teleportation discs to travel. And so I think what you're getting at is...
Are they...
We constantly think that things are just hallucinations or visions. But then they show the other mutants just watching them. And it's like, everything in this movie is real.
Oh, yeah.
No one's like having nightmares. I mean, people... Well...
It is their... It's their nightmares making them real, though.
And we find out... So, we will jump around a little bit. We find out Danny's the cause of this. She winds up at this hospital not knowing what her powers are. She gets made fun of that. It's like, oh, you don't know your powers. You're stupid. Turns out her powers are what is making shit go down in that hospital. She makes people's fears come to life. So we straight up...
We see,
we think that, like, these people are just having nightmares. And it's like, nah, she's bringing them to life.
Like, they're actually getting hurt from these things.
Yeah, like Ileana, she sees a younger version of herself getting, like, haunted by...
Can we talk about how it kind of looks like a mix between Slender Man and, like... because he's wearing a freaking nice-ass suit. And it looks kind of like a Demogorgon.
I loved it. I loved him so much. He was so cool to look at.
It was creepy, though. Because it had, like, a smiley face on it.
He had a smiley face mask, but then that mask got ripped off, and then boom, no face, but,
no
like,
eyes.
just a smile. And
big-ass smile, but it's with teeth.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's like a critter.
Yeah, I guess.
So, yeah, it's a bunch of these things end up kind of being the main thing they fight until a giant bear. And this bear came from Danny, her father.
We're missing a lot of this movie
well,
here.
I'm backtracking on that now. Her father gave her, like, told her this tale because she used to be afraid of the dark, and she has huge ties to her father. So, obviously, at one point in this film, she tries to just kill herself. And then Rain, played by Maisie Williams, finds her and then talks her down. Literally, she's at the top of this fucking clock tower. And so then their friendship starts.
Friendship, yeah.
Cute as fuck together. This whole movie, I was like, fucking make out. And then they did at one point. I was like, yes!
They were leading into it the whole time. That Maisie Williams, I mean...
Is it Macy or Maisie?
I think it was Maisie.
Well, you said
like, Macy. Macy?
Well, you're saying it both ways now.
I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Is it the parade or does it rhyme with the flower?
I don't know. I don't know how you say it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so whoever the fuck she is. So we are...
I think it's Maisie. Like a daisy.
Okay, you explain.
What?
You explain what I'm going to say.
All right, let me see if I can use my mutant powers to read your thoughts. She can turn into a wolf. Or is it a dog? I'm going to say wolf. It looks cool.
It's a wolf.
Yeah, but she's not like a werewolf. It's not like your typical werewolf.
Well, she's a shapeshifter.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that she'd be able to pick which animal, but it only seems to be the wolf. It just seems to be the wolf. And it makes sense because when you see her kind of midway transformed, it's like, yeah, got good makeup on, and then it's just like, yeah.
It's actually really cool.
If you lined up all the mutants and said one of these can turn into a wolf, she looks the most wolf-like with her hair and just her stature. But
no, we kind of see a little bit, like, we see her from the beginning turn into a wolf, but you don't see her turning. You see, like, a wolf.
I didn't know it was her.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought it was one of the guys was a wolf.
Well, and remember when they were talking all around in the circle and she said that her priest used to beat her because she went to him and was like, oh, she
shape-shifted. She showed him the ability, and then her priest beat her. Yeah. She
and then branded her.
Throughout this movie is struggling to like come to terms with her religious beliefs. Yeah. And she goes into this chapel. She's the only one in this movie to ever go in there voluntarily. Yeah. And she's like, demons can't come in churches. Demons can't come in churches. And
not to mention she's like Irish. Did you pick up on that? She's Irish.
I think it's an Irish accent.
Oh yeah, 100%. Either that or Scottish, but I think it's Irish. And she had red hair.
I'm gonna quickly look up
do that.
Sinclair.
Well, just like look up what the character is. No, and then she's sitting there. All the other guys are messing around, like throwing a ball or playing pool or whatever it was. And she was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Do you remember that part?
Yes.
And do you remember what was happening?
No, I'm not a big Buffy person.
Okay, I love Buffy.
She turned to a wolf?
No.
No,
it was when Buffy, and she looks just like this girl. What's the girl from How I Met Your Mother? Girl from Band Camp?
Allison Flanagan?
Yes.
I think that's her name.
I think. Anyway, you know in Buffy that she is a lesbian about halfway through the series. And so then she kisses Buffy, and then I think that's kind of like
and that was
hint.
a scene.
That was a scene
that they were watching.
into going into her starting a relationship with Danielle.
And I looked it up. Scottish.
Okay.
Sinclair. Which, by the way, it really threw me off. I type in Sinclair ethnicity on Bing, mind you. Fucking Google's not working. And it gives me Vin Diesel's biography on IMDb. It really threw me off.
Is Vin Diesel's real name Sinclair?
I have no idea. It just says born Mark Sinclair.
You know, it does say Irish on here too.
Wait a minute. Vin Diesel's name is Mark Sinclair.
Oh my God! What? Sorry, I did not mean to yell.
Whoa.
Totally did not mean to yell.
Whoa.
His name is Mark Sinclair. What?
He later moved to New York City where he was raised. His mother has English, German, Scottish, and Irish ancestry.
How did we not know his name wasn't Vin Diesel?
Because Vin Diesel's so cool!
Well, it's made up.
Wow. What a liar.
So upset.
His birth name is Mark Sinclair. You've got to be shitting me. All right.
Wow, crazy.
So back to New Mutants. Yeah, so Maisie and Danny, I should say Rain. Rain and Danny, they become very, very close. She is actually polite and nice to her, whereas the other girl who was kind of forced to take her a tour on the hospital, Ileana, she's a bitch. She's the one who tricks her into getting a bloody nose by running headfirst into an invisible wall.
Which is kind of shitty.
That the girl didn't know about. And then...
And laughs at her.
She goes... Danny... God, I almost wanted to say Daisy. Danny goes to, run at her and tackle her, and then boom! Girl disappears. Ileana. So that's, our first hint at what she can do. She can teleport and stuff like that.
Which, fun fact, did you know that the character, Rain Sinclair, was actually in the movie XMen Evolution?
That must be an animated movie.
Could be. I don't know.
It is.
I just kind of looked up.
Because I've never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it wasn't an actual X-Men movie, but, I knew it was something. So anyway, there's good on that. It probably goes more into that.
I was really disappointed. I thought you were going to give me another Vin Diesel mind-blowing fact.
Do you want one?
I would not.
Okay, cool.
Actually.
I don't know one.
But yeah, so we're in this circle group, and we're introduced to all the characters. And then we got, the Brazilian mutant who, throughout this, for some reason, hasn't told anyone his powers. Oh, dude's got a really chiseled jaw. Yeah, he's the muscle of this film.
Yeah. The other asshole of it, kind of, in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, he's just being a dude who... Okay, so he gets so hot, temperature-wise, that it is revealed that he can't have sex with a woman.
Yeah.
Because he tried to do that at one point and straight up burnt his girlfriend.
Yeah.
We don't see that. He just tells us. They go into this attic where they can tell each other things, and they hook each other up to a polygraph test. And
which is so random.
Yeah, they do truth. And Charlie Heaton's character, which we'll get into, he was like, "How many women have you been with?" And by the way,
I love him.
I love his accent in this movie.
It bothered me though because I knew. It sounded kind of fake, but then it didn't. He's
American in Stranger Things. He has a hard British accent.
In real life.
And then he plays a trucker.
Yeah.
Kind of in this. He's like, you just throw away your jacket when you're done with it. Oh, you want it? Oh, hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
it's great.
So weird,
it's great.
It's cool.
It's very well done. You can tell it's forced, but it's forced with talent. I think he did a good job.
He's very good.
But yeah, so he's like, how many women have you slept with? And he's like, oh, too many to count. And then the lie detector test is it's going crazy. And then it's like, all right, 3. He's like, oh, that's not bad. Still lying. Then it's like, all right, yeah, I've never. It's like, why not? It's like, too hot. And that's all he wants to say about it. But then there's a scene later in the film where he's in the pool with Ileana, and they're definitely sexually attracted to one another.
Yeah. And
he goes to touch her, and he starts steaming or smoking, I guess. I don't know. And he's got to cool down.
Yeah. But, something that I didn't understand about that scene, and I'm really curious.
Curious?
Yes. about it now is when the doctor said she was never in the pool. Does that mean that it's possible that
I'm pretty sure this was the point.
Danny was making it.
They constantly play pranks, kind of, on
each other.
Yeah, they put like
her.
sleeping pills in her tea.
Yeah.
So she was asleep. So she woke up when he was on fire.
So she just assumed that Ileana was not in the pool.
Ileana, she said, "Oh, you gotta find me first," and then teleported the fuck out of there.
Okay, so it wasn't my imagination, like, oh my god, is she, or their imagination, I should say. So it wasn't Danny, like,
It's everything in this movie, much to my pleasure, is that was a weird way to word that.
It's real.
It's real. Nothing's really a hallucination, because there's only so much I can take of that.
Well, technically, it's real and it's not real. Because
it's real.
It's real, but from their minds. So basically, Rain, since she's scared of the priest.
Yeah, there was a priest that beat the shit out, and she put up a fight because he's clawed as fuck.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, good for you, girl.
Well, I think she killed him.
You think?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's right. She does at one point say, "You're not real. I killed you."
I think everyone in that circle had killed somebody.
Oh, they're all fucking murderers. Not in the best way. Poor Charlie Heaton character. Well, let's talk about him. Charlie Heaton. He was the biggest reason I was excited about this movie.
We were just talking about her.
About Maisie?
Yeah.
Dead priest.
What I was gonna say was, basically. Oh fuck! I totally lost it now.
Something was real.
Yes, no, that's what I was saying.
Good.
So it's real, but it's fake. But it's not fake. If that makes any sense.
They were hallucinations in their brains. Well, not even hallucinations, but then
they were nightmares brought to life.
Yeah. So in a sense, it was real. It was just impossible on how those were real. But that's her powers.
Okay, so
she basically conjures. She's a conjurer.
Yes. Okay. And her name in the comics was Mirage, right?
Mm.
And what's funny is I'm pretty sure she's in the XMen movies.
I don't know.
Like almost 100%.
I haven't seen Dark Phoenix. That's the only X-Men.
I'm not talking about that.
Why she could be in that? Fucking no. That's the only X-Men movie I haven't seen. I've seen Apocalypse once. I don't know if I liked it. I can't remember. But yeah. So
now we can go into him.
All of these people have nightmares, and we get our first taste of that with Charlie Heaton's character, he's just Sam. Just
Sam.
Sam Guthrie.
Guthrie.
He is. His power is a little hard to
explain.
Yeah, he basically can not light himself on fire, but he can launch himself in the air, like propel himself in the air super, super fast. Like, we first see his power, he's just attached to a chain and a boulder. And he's just going around in circles super fast in the air. And he's not good at it. He keeps hurting himself. He's got a broken arm.
Purpose,
probably. He's survivor's guilt, which is brought up many times in this film.
A lot.
His backstory was he was forced, I don't know if at a young age, but he was forced to work in the coal mines with his father, among many coal diggers. And he lost control of his powers and killed
everyone.
He said most of the crew, but let's just say everyone.
Probably everyone.
Yeah, and he's the only one that he says he deserves to be at that hospital. But he's weird, because then the next scene, he doesn't want to be there.
Well, that's because they find out things.
I feel like that's where the choppiness can kind of come from cutscenes and whatnot, but... Because he's just like, what if we don't want to go to the new superhero place? What if we just want to stay here? Oh, no, what if I want to go home?
Yeah.
So they all want to go home. They're all locked there. They keep referring to their place as a cage. They're in a prison, basically. And in that big-ass place, there's only 6 people. I know, that blows my mind.
Why do they need that whole thing? And it's blocked off by her... whatever
her shield, her dome wall. Yeah.
And so why do they have to have a big place like that?
Yeah. And so there's one part, he is in a laundry room, or talking about Charlie Heaton's character. He's in a laundry room, Sam, and he sees the vision of the coal mining accident, and the fucking washer machine blows up.
Yeah.
That's when I thought, hallucination.
That's what I thought too.
Nah, shit was real.
But the thing is, how was it real if he was looking at it through a washer?
He went into the washer and saw. He made. Okay, there weren't miners in the washing machine.
No,
but he saw it. But then it blew up, and that was real, and that was caused from his explosion.
Yes.
That he had in the past.
Okay.
So like, yeah, everything is real. So
bringing it up. Okay.
I think I can't remember. Was what's his name? Bobby. They don't really talk about him a lot. Did he ever see a nightmare of his?
Who was Bobby?
The chiseled Brazilian dude who lighted himself on fire.
That was not his name.
It says
it was like Bernardo.
Well, they call him Roberto.
Roberto.
But it's Roberto quotation marks Bobby da Costa.
I really don't think they call him.
Yeah, they
Bobby.
kept calling him Roberto, and that you're right. I'm saying Bobby, and I'm like this. They did not talk about him a lot.
No.
Yeah, so Roberto.
Yeah.
Did he ever see a fear of his come to life?
Yes, because remember he was in the pool. And that's kind of where we're getting at. When Eliana was messing with him, she teleported
his dead girlfriend.
Yeah, so she comes out of the water. She's like burnt to hell, trying to go after him.
Very good looking effect.
Yeah,
it really looked good. Very, very well done. I loved watching him light on fire. I loved all of these people.
Yeah,
I loved watching them all become themselves.
More though.
Ileana, kind of little Transformer vibes.
I liked her powers.
When her arm would just without the sound effects, which would have been dope.
The part that I didn't like about her character was the dragon because it was kind of like cartoonish.
She talks to a puppet. So at first you're led to believe that her power, her puppet's alive. Like there's a spirit of someone trapped inside this puppet. Like it's legit like a hand puppet.
Yeah.
That's what I thought her power was. Or just someone's like in Suicide Squad when the Katana, I think her name is, she's got the souls of people she killed and she can talk to them. I kind of thought that was where we were going. No, it's a real dragon, but it's just a puppet too.
Yeah, I didn't really get all of that.
Very cool.
I actually thought that it was literally just something that the doctor gave her to talk to. Like
because you hate everyone, you don't want to talk to anyone.
Yes, exactly.
Like at one point in their little prayer circle or whatever, they're all meditating, and the doctor keeps repeating control, control, and it pans around in a clockwise or counterclockwise motion. And of course, when it goes to Ileana, she's just rolling her eyes, back turned towards the group. Just your stereotypical bad boy.
Bad girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one that doesn't want to do anything like with anyone.
Yeah, like that dragon coming to life, that would have been a good ending to episode 3.
So yeah, I'm telling you, this would have been an amazing season. Like if they added more stuff to it, and then it ended, and then they go find this Essex whatever. But to end like that, it sucked because like I loved the movie, but it was kind of disappointing knowing that there wasn't another one.
Okay, I'm literally writing this down so I remember it. But now you're done talking. Have you seen Maze Runner? Or Maze Runner Scorch Trials, the second movie?
Yeah.
They are waiting to be... I think it's Maze Runner. They are waiting to be sent off to an island or something, or another place. And I honestly, I might be messing up the movie. But it's this company called Wicked. I think spelled without the I. Not important. But they're like, yeah, there's good things waiting at this island. Or I might also be thinking of the movie called The Island. Or basically,
no, you're right. They have a wall.
Yeah, they are promised to be sent somewhere better, but what they're doing is actually killing everyone.
Yeah.
And so these people are led to believe that they are going, once they pass their program and do their training, and it's essentially rehabilitation. They are training them to be like functional adults in society. Because the whole New Mutants thing is you don't know your powers yet. You are a danger to yourself and everyone, but most importantly yourself. Mm-hmm. And so you will not leave until I'm done. Then they find out. A little bit of a shocker. This doctor's bad. Not actually going to send you to this Essex company is not good.
She had good intentions. I think she was a good person, but her... What did she call him? superiors.
Oh, superiors, yeah.
I don't think the superiors are that great of people because they're just like, yeah. Danny's not gonna make it. Just fucking kill her.
We recently watched The Umbrella Academy, and in this, there's two people, Hazel and
Cha-Cha.
Hazel and Cha-Cha. They are time warrior people. Fuck if I know. And they constantly get orders. And at one point, they get tricked into getting orders to kill the other person.
Yeah.
And so this Essex company is working like that. It says, gather more data. She's bad. And then terminate her. And she does it. She tries to. She tries to. She gets clawed the fuck out of by Maisie.
We should probably call her Rain. Like her name in the thing. Well, fucking, if I had a girlfriend, finally, and then was like, oh no, we're gonna kill her.
Slices up her face. And then they all realize it's just like, hey, it's just like, they want to escape. They can't escape. Sorry, because that wall is up. How do you make the wall go away? You kill its source. And so then it zooms in on Ileana, and she's like, let's go kill this bitch then. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. And then it's like, oh, yeah, this doctor is kind of the villain of the movie.
She is, but we start out thinking that she's what did I say?
They are
the protagonist.
They are
becoming an antagonist.
Yeah.
Vice versa with Danny, we think that, we learn halfway through the film that she's the one making these nightmares come
Yeah,
true.
I thought she was going to turn bad. Kind of like a Jean Grey situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad that was avoided. Yeah. So glad. Well, it was resolved. It wasn't avoided. Shit happened. Yeah. We'll get to that shortly.
But then we realize, the reason why all this is going on is because of the doctor. Because the doctor is making all this shit I don't even know how to explain it, but she's just making it to where
she's manipulating all
I would say positive, but it's actually negative.
Yeah, in one of the first or second mentions of XMen, Maisie said, I thought they were training us to be sent to the XMen. They're training us to be killers.
But how is she doing that? Because she seemed like she was doing things positively. You would think that she's trying to make him a killer.
She's a nice person. But at the end of the day, she has her orders.
True.
It's her job.
She'll do it.
She has all of these mutants are quote unquote a danger to society, or it's a little bit of Munchausen. The syndrome where you're led to believe that you're sick, but you're not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like maybe they aren't a danger to society. Once again, Umbrella Academy, Vanya, she was led to believe that she was a huge danger, but if they let her just control her powers, boom, she turned out all right.
And also in the beginning that she did not know.
Used it for good.
That she was even powerful at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the sense of Danny. She didn't know she really had anything until it happened.
Yeah, they are not raising, but they are training all of these people to believe that, hey, you're a problem. You're a danger. And it just makes everyone angry and unhappy.
So my question is, what do you think the reason was they wanted to kill Danny? Because she got orders from the superiors that...
I think they were good orders.
No, I mean
hey, she's a danger. She will...
Is she a danger? Or was she...
They basically...
dangerous to them?
They said that she will never be able to control her powers. And her powers are fucking dangerous.
So why did they want to kill her?
Because her powers are dangerous and she won't be able to control them. But
if they're the bad guys... And she can't control it. So either way, you're saying
I don't think they're bad per se.
Oh, I think so.
They just want to raise them
to
as
be killers.
There's probably a war that probably would have been next up in the sequel.
Could be.
And stuff like that. They're not bad per se. They're not just all right, cool.
But we don't know.
Let's bring them into this one room and then gas them all.
We just don't know until the next movie would have came out, which has never happened.
It's like Fantastic Four. They all became superheroes. I'm talking about the 2015 movie, which I think was 2015. And then they made Ben Gray. They made The Thing. He's a war. He was in the war. Or was he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Human Torch, I think, were soldiers.
Oh.
So it's hey, we're putting your powers, but instead of you having fun with them, you're just going to work for us, and you're just going to kill people. That's what they did with number 5 in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Okay. That might be the last time I mentioned Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Although I think this movie actually reminded me, I was going to put on my notes, it was Umbrella Academy mixed with Stranger Things.
Mixed with The Boys.
Mixed with XMen.
And XMen.
Because, you got thrown in.
The world is loving, since the MCU, superhero movies are great.
This is the time for them.
Like, there was that one show on Netflix that we watched. We binged it in one night. I Am Not Okay With This with Sophia Lillis and Wyatt Olive.
Good.
The woman's got superpowers. It's like, all right, I'm in. Let's watch this. It's
so good. And then they fucking ended
It's just a coming of age, trying to get a hold of her superpowers. And it's just so cool to watch all these superpower things. So, yeah, New Mutants, I was super excited for it. Ooh, boy. I'm looking at its budget right now. It says 67 to 80 million, and it has made 35 million. Ooh.
And I think it's because of this whole COVID thing.
I don't know how accurate that is, but
it's probably pretty accurate.
This movie currently has, and I don't look at Rotten Tomatoes to determine whether or not to see a movie. I barely listen to what people say about it, but it's got a 33%.
That's not terrible.
It's not.
5 out of 10?
It's got a 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I kind of trust IMDb, but at the same time I don't. For the same reason I trust it. Anyone can review it. And there are people who got balls to give games like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey a 1 star just because they're angry people. So I take these scores with a grain of salt. I also don't like to rate movies. It's hard for me to do so.
Yeah.
But I can compare it to others, and I've already said it. I would rather watch this and a TV series of it more than anything X-Men.
100%.
I mean, I know this is X-Men, but yeah.
But it's a different X-Men because it doesn't mention any of the people in it. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. It mentioned one person. Can you remember?
Professor X.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I forgot about that.
Because they're all the kids are talking and they're just like, who are her superiors? And one of the
Bobby or
Roberto. He's in a wheelchair and he nods down. He's like, come on, who do you think? Then it's like, and then she
points at his head.
Then they say X-Men. It's like, this is an X-Men movie. Fuck yeah.
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 You kind of forget about it after a little while.
Oh, and Ileana. Every character in this movie took on an accent.
They did.
Besides Roberto, who you would think would take on,
because he's like you.
But Hispanic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ileana, her dragon, his name is Lockheed.
That's what I thought. She said Lock-E.
Yeah, it's Lock.
I was like, what?
Lockheed. Lockheed. It's her only friend was a hand puppet of a purple. That's awesome. I love that. That's such a unique, that's such a cool video game character.
It is a video game.
I would love. Well,
you mentioned it, Spyro.
Yeah, dude, I would love playing a game of New Mutants. It'd be so cool just to be one of the mutants, just to be a new mutant who you don't know what your powers are, but
make hella money on it.
These are all your friends and stuff. So yeah, everyone has these horrible visions, and then Essex. So the doctor's reporting everything, and so it's like, hey, you need to kill her. She's
put her down like an animal.
Yeah, shit's hitting the fan. She's not good. She's the destruction to everything. Not that we're good, but she's worse. Blah 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 blah. And so, Rain sees that.
Please stop.
Sorry, I was thirsty.
God.
Rain is like, oh my god, they're trying to kill her. And then she goes in the vents, which is really cool. I like how they just escape. They're constantly just finding new places. Like, no one has cameras here.
But then they have cameras
Boom,
here.
cameras there. But she just lets them, which is kind of cool. It reminds me of an episode of The Big Bang Theory I recently watched where Bernadette hides out in a kid's playhouse that they watch because she's tired of her children. She just wants to, take a break and drink some wine. Aww. And then Howard and Raj are in the hot tub, and Raj is like, dude, I think someone's in the house. He's like, oh, that's just Bernadette. She's been there for weeks. I just let her do her thing. It's like, that's adorable. That's so nice. And that's nice that the doctor is not it's like, no, you can't come here anymore. She lets them have their fun.
She does, but
it's all monitored.
Do you wonder?
I swear this woman doesn't sleep.
Probably not, except for when she's spiked tea. Yeah, but
they did her a favor.
I really think that maybe the doctor was doing it so she could get information out of him too, because if they think, hey, no one's listening, they're gonna just say whatever.
I would not be surprised to know if her superhero name was the Manipulator.
Ooh, let's look it up.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. So yeah, they want to get her killed. Maisie jumps on her. She's she's got claws like a dog, but she's not a dog.
She's a wolf.
She's She scratches up her face. The doctor has to run away to hide. And then she, like, kind of frees Danny. She's got her almost euthanized. The doctor almost had her killed. And she, like, takes the breathing apparatus off her face. And
yeah.
What's up?
Oh, so, yeah, you're probably, like, wondering what my face was about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, like, reading it, and I went to the New Mutant... I can't say it for some reason. New Mutant thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it even says on here, 5 Teenage Mutants, Mirage, Wolfsbane, Cannonball, Sunspot, and Magic undergo treatments, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, it never says that in the movie.
They never really say their names.
No.
Besides, I think they say...
Magic. She does say something about Magic.
Ileana. Yeah. Whatever her name is, I
Magic.
think they say, yeah.
So, which is kind of cool. It's spelled differently. But no, that just, like, kind of was weird when I read that. So, let's see. Cecilia Reyes. Cecilia?
Here, while you're looking that up.
Reyes. New Mutants.
I mean, I have it in front of me, but it just says Cecilia Reyes. It doesn't say she has a cool
might
name.
not be.
She's just the doctor. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, maybe she's supposed to die or something.
So, yeah, Rain saves Danny, and then Ileana's nightmare, her smile man, smile men, they're coming in hordes almost. Like, there's a lot of them, and they all are trying to fight back. They're all trying to kill him and stuff. And so that's like, oh, shit, okay, this is the final fight. No. Danny brings in this huge demon bear. Which
is literally the name of the thing. It's a demon bear. It's demon bear.
Yep. It's the entity, demon bear. It's been following Danny, and that is revealed to be the alleged tornado. And it's kind of safe to say, now that I think about it, that
she killed her dad.
Yeah, the demon bear, that's her.
But I remember it was weird in the beginning. There was a shit ton of fire, just like being thrown at everywhere.
Yeah,
there was fire too.
Tornado doesn't do that.
No.
So
and it
nice
wasn't
try.
even really a tornado. It was just a big black mass.
Yeah. So Sam.
So weird.
Killed his parents or dad and a bunch of people. Ileana straight up said she
killed like.
This was a cool scene.
16 men or something.
She's strapped up to the polygraph test, and it's like, why are you here? I killed 18 men, one by one, and it's just.
So content.
Yeah. If you guys can't hear it, I'm trying to do like a
little polygraph test.
Yeah. She's not lying, and she's proud of it. It's like, yeah, I'm a badass.
And
I will
she's
fuck
a
you up. Yeah. So a lot of these Roberto killed his girlfriend. Maisie killed the priest or the pastor or whatever. I don't know if she killed the family.
So the only one person that meant to kill someone was Ileana.
Maybe.
Technically.
Maybe she didn't mean to kill him. Maybe she's just happy about it because she's a bad person. They all have accidentally killed someone, going to show you that, yeah, New Mutants need to undergo some training.
Which I agree with.
I agree with, but maybe not in the hands of a doctor like her.
She wasn't even a doctor.
Maybe fucking Charles Xavier.
Maybe. That's not happening now.
Nope. So, all right, let's... they all fight this demon bear. Like
every single one of them.
They all use their powers. Yeah, it's really cool. Sam doesn't really do much.
You know, he doesn't. No. I just realized that he
ends up holding.
He tries.
Yeah, he holds Danny at one point because Rain turns into her wolf and she scratches the fuck out of the bear. Doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Yeah. And then the bear, this whole time, Rain is like, "You need to wake up, Danny. You need to wake up. This will all stop. You gotta wake up. Only you can fight it." Blah, blah, stuff like that. And so Danny is kind of in
like a trance.
You know that part in like fucking Harry Potter where Harry dies while he's in Hagrid's arms, kind of, or whatever, and he's like meeting Dumbledore at King's Cross. A lot of movies have that thing where the person is like almost dead, but then they have a vision, and then they meet someone in the afterlife, and then come back.
You can't die yet. You gotta go back, or you have to wake up.
That's what happens. So she wakes up. Oh my god, I laughed at this point.
Oh, me too.
Guys, Huge ass demon bear. By the way, one of the coolest things I've seen ever.
It was
It
really
so cool.
well done.
They even had it do that bottom lip thing that bears do.
Yeah.
It was so cool. She says, and I quote, "Stop."
No.
Walks up to it. No.
Like
no.
a freaking dog.
And then she just touches the bear. She just rubs it.
It was good, but I feel like there could have been just more emotion there.
It's all a mental thing.
It
and
is.
I mentioned it earlier in this podcast. I would be talking about It Chapter 2 more than once. Did it remind you any of the final fight with Pennywise where they all started bullying it and he just became like all small and deflated? They're just like, "You're nothing. You're nothing.
A little
You're
bit.
just a clown." This obviously wasn't as extreme. She's just like, "No, bad boy.
Yeah.
Get down. You hurt. No. We don't hurt our friends here." And she kills the bear. The bear is calmed down.
I don't know if she kills it. She just says you have to go away for a while.
Ends it. Yeah, you're right. And
I
so
think that's her controlling it.
it just kind of disappears into a cloud of evaporated smoke, and the movie kind of calms down. They all look. Shit's destroyed.
You know, it's funny that you say that. Like, the end of the movie, it lightens up because it's one of those typical horror movies where it's like, it's all dark, and then all of a sudden the light comes out.
On to season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're just like, "Hey." Oh, Charlie has this piece of coal that his dad gave him. And then throughout the movie, Danny has a bear that her dad gave her. And that's where she tells us the legend of the bear. Which is really cool that a lot of these things in these movies actually contributed to the plot.
Yeah.
And weren't just like, "Oh, yeah." I mean, there was one time, Rain, she was like, "Yeah, I masturbated twice. Sorry." It's like, "Oh."
That was just like a random thing. I really did not expect that.
They also did that in I Am Not Okay With This. Sophia Lillis, just randomly, she's like, "Yeah, I touch myself sometimes. I don't know if that's good or bad. Anyways, I'm going to school today." It's like, what the hell? Yes, everyone masturbates. Jesus. So yeah, a lot of things in this movie besides the confession serve. They come full circle. So he takes this piece of coal, chucks it. It never turns orange. Ergo, the shield's gone. Because, the fucking bear eats her.
Yeah.
The bear ate the doctor.
Yeah, you don't remember? You didn't remember that at first?
Well, no, not really. Fuck that
forgot
doctor.
about it.
Fuck the doctor.
I
love the kids.
I do too.
Yeah, and it's like you're hearing like the
legit.
crunching and like the blood.
He throws her up in the air and goes.
Yeah, and he eats her.
Crazy.
So, but then they have to go on to fight the bear. So it wasn't just like, "Oh, ding dong, the witch is dead." It's like, nope. Now you got to deal with the witch's killer. You have to fight the house.
So, okay, so as I was watching the movie and the ending where he throws the rock, I'm just thinking to myself, damn, what if that hit somebody?
Right.
Like, that would be just another person. Like,
right. Yeah, so they realize that they were told,
they're free.
There's a town 20 miles away. So maybe they tell us that because they don't want us to walk. Maybe they're lying. And Ileana's the one to tell that to Danny in the beginning of the film when she tricks her into running into the force field. And then they say it again. I just love that things keep coming full circle in this movie. And so the movie ends. They're all banded together. They're walking. And it's credits. No after credits.
Totally upset after that, though.
No, nothing.
So
I am trying to find out if New Mutants...
If they were to reboot it...
Is it rated PG-13?
I was just thinking that, because, like, technically, there's a lot of stuff in this that was like...
I swear they swear a lot.
They do. They say bitch a lot. They...
Fuck shit multiple times.
Yeah.
We kind of see tits.
No, we don't.
I see side boob.
It was barely any side boob.
But I saw it.
Okay, well, of course you did.
I looked for it.
Don't be so weird.
I craved it.
Ew.
I said, fucking make out.
Stop being a freaking weirdo.
But yeah, so it ends happy for the New Mutants. It'd be really interesting to see where they go. I know they're not going to continue it, but straight up, Charles Xavier would have came on screen and said, hey, come here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy.
James, I think they would have picked James. It depends on what timing, because we didn't even know what time period it was.
Mm-hmm.
Had to have been like recently though, so you'd think probably.
I love how the plot on Wikipedia ends with, now calling themselves the New Mutants, they learn that the force field is down and head out together to face the unknown.
And
then there's the credits.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I want season 2.
It's yeah. I'm really upset that they're not going to make another one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so they say. They could maybe years down the road, but then it's like, what's the point?
I am also fine with this being its own thing.
Yeah, I guess.
This film has suffered enough. I don't want
to.
to.
It didn't do great.
I don't want to give it more shit and be like, oh, it sucks. It needs a follow up. It's like
it could have done way better if it was longer.
They could have scrapped it, and yet they didn't. They tightened up their belt and said, "No, we got to get this shit done. We started it. We'll finish it." However half-assed it could have been, whatever.
It could have been much better, in my opinion, because it was pushed all into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I've seen Scooby-Doo movies longer than that.
Yeah, you had a superhero movie that you kind of forgot was a superhero movie. At least an XMen movie. You kind of forget that. Because we don't know their names. We don't know
anything about them.
Their parents.
Except for their powers.
All of the mutants are related. I wonder if that's why they're mutants.
Huh?
You know, like a Wrong Turn?
Oh my god, you're so stupid.
So it's all these brothers and sisters fucking each other and they become mutated a little bit. Not obviously
they get mutated, yeah.
They don't have powers, but they look deformed. What if that's a mutant?
So
thing?
wait,
they all seem
you
to
just
be.
Say they're all related.
Well, a lot of mutants, they're all like Magneto. Dates. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Magneto gets with Mystique, and then their son is Nightcrawler. Or no, I'm wrong with all this. It's been a long time. Hold on a second. We got Nightcrawler parents. It's Mystique and his name is Azazel.
Oh, the yellow eyes.
Something like that. But yeah, so and then Magneto is Quicksilver's dad. And that was in Apocalypse or the other movie?
Okay, so this is actually Azazel. I'm thinking technically he does have yellow eyes in the comics, but this is what it looks like.
Okay.
Fucking weird.
So just a lot of mutants, a lot of them are related. I guess it's just genetics at that point. So if mutants, have sex with mutants, they're going to produce mutants.
Yeah, but that's just like humans. Eventually you turn into like human versus what we were before. But
I'm glad. I can try to find a silver lining to COVID and all that. It gave us, I think, a much necessary break from Marvel, nice. From all these big movies. We got to kind of refocus and focus on some TV shows and stuff. But now I'm actually excited for Black Widow. I wasn't before.
Yeah,
but now it's been so long. I'm just like, oh, look at the trailer. Give me it. I want to see it. I haven't watched Mulan.
David Harbour.
I probably won't watch Mulan until it's free on Disney Plus because I'm not paying $30.
It's getting a lot of shit too.
It's made a ton of money.
Yeah, but it's like getting a lot of flack. Yeah,
it's made more money than Tenet.
Is it flack or slack?
Flack. You're both. You're right.
Okay.
Flack.
Cool.
It's flack.
Cool.
That was New Mutants, everyone.
We're kind of all over the place, but it's cool.
I have an idea of what our next podcast episode will be about, but I don't know. Until then, so you liked it?
I liked it a lot. I'm just sad that they're not.
You just want more.
I want more. They should have made it into a show.
That's how I am with a lot of these.
And that's it.
Now that Disney Plus is a thing, it's like, ooh, this could be a good show. Ooh, this would be a good show.
Yeah. Basically, what I could say now is I'm going to recommend the movie. Go see it. But you might be a little disappointed because you want to see more of it.
I think this movie deserves to be seen. It's gone through so much shit.
Yeah.
It
was good.
Support the people who stuck with this movie and just didn't abandon it.
Just too short.
All right? Yeah. In fact, our podcast might be longer than the movie was.
I know.
Nope, but we're close.
We're close.
We're close. All right, guys. I think we've discussed everything that has to be discussed. That's one thing I really loved about this movie. It's very contained.
Very much
very,
so.
Very is easy to follow-ish. as much as a superhero movie can be.
Left a few questions, but
Yeah.
nothing that wouldn't have been answered in the second one.
Yep. Or the third one. Would have been really cool to see a trilogy, but you know what? We can't get what we want.
Not all the
And
time.
me and you haven't been to the movies in like 6 months, and we definitely didn't want that. But yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Until our next episode, I'm Tyler.
I'm Tori.
And this has been Spoiled Popcorn. Sure, that's our sign off.
No. No, we'll think of one.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, guys, real quick before we end this episode. So, we are recording this the day after we saw the movie and the day after we recorded the podcast because I woke up still thinking about this movie. And I guess that goes to show you how good of a movie it was. That or it was just like how impactful a movie is when you actually watch it in a movie theater. Because I'm also still thinking about Jaws, which I saw a few days ago. Anyways, so we mentioned yesterday, none of us are big XMen fans. We don't know a lot about it. However, we completely overlooked Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Do you know what that is, Tori?
No.
That's the big school where all the X-Men go to, where he's the professor of.
I mean, I do know, but I don't know, like...
That's where kids go. They don't go to this stupid hospital. These kids are all there because they killed people. Because they're bad. So they're not training them to be X-Men. They are training them to be killers. They're just trying to control their powers and use them as weapons.
Yeah.
And I
thought that was, like, implied.
Well, I completely overlooked it. Because I was just like, oh yeah, New Mutants. It makes sense. They can be dangerous to people and they have to be taught to do it. But it's like, no. These are the bad kids that killed people. So that's why they're separated and they're not in the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Dude, I woke up with that thought and it blew my mind. I was like, how
What did you think when we were watching it?
I just thought, yeah, it makes sense that New Mutants have powers that don't know how to do it. When they did that rattlesnake comparison, where it's like a baby rattlesnake is actually more venomous because they haven't quite learned how much venom to secrete.
That was like a lie.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's
it's not a lie, but it's like...
That's a true statement.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's a lie that, hey, you guys just need some training and some help. It's no, you guys are here. You guys are in the bad school, technically, the hospital. It blew my mind, and I was like, okay, I cannot include that. I cannot not include that in the podcast because that was just me being dumb and wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's like from the gate, if I had known that, yeah, it's shady from the get-go. Like,
yeah.
If this is existing in the X-Men universe, they talk about the X-Men and they mention Professor Xavier, then they know that there's a school for kids their age, but they're not in it because they're killers.
Boom.
All right, guys. We're going to try for our next episode, whatever that may be, we're going to try to be a little more organized. Tori mentioned to me off mic that we jump around a lot, and it's hard, especially with a movie in theaters, because it's hard to kind of recount every scene or just slowly read a plot synopsis off the internet. So we're just trying to keep it going, and with that, a little bit of randomness occurs, but we're getting back in the swing of things. Like we said, this is the first time we've been in the movie theater in like 6 months. Mm-hmm. And that's the longest break I've ever taken since I've been born. Maybe.
Since you've been born.
I don't know. I don't know the first movie I saw.
I doubt you went there when you were like 6 months old.
I hope so. I'll text my dad. He'll let me know. All right, guys. Well, yeah, once again, until next time, I'm Tori.
You're Tori?
Cut.
That was the best thing that you've ever said.
Cut.